Good morning, Manitoba. I'm Larry McIntosh, and I'll be your host for the next hour and every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Thank you for tuning in. For the last several weeks, we've introduced a new feature at the beginning of each show. Each Saturday, we take a look at a few interesting and good news events in history. So let's have a look at this day in history. On March 7th, 1876, Alexander Graham Bell receives a patent for the telephone. That's 139 years ago. And phones have come a long ways. I think the patent probably had a cord on his phone at that time, which not many of us have anymore. On March 7th, 1939, the New Year's Eve favorite, Auld Lang Syne, was recorded. This song has been played at every New Year's Eve since it was recorded back on March 7th, 1939. And on March 7th, 1912, now this one's a very important one to me, the Oreo cookie was created in a Nabisco factory. That's 103 years old. The cookie is credited as being the best-selling cookie in the world. And I remember their 100th anniversary, they came out with a triple one, not a double one, but a triple stuffed one. And that saved so much time from having to open the cookie and everything. So that was good. That was a good year. My guest this morning is Chris Garrick from Jackson Springs Water. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Couldn't be better. Thanks for having me.
Are you an Oreo fan? Not the baseball team, but the cookie.
Limited cheat quantities.
Really? So you're more about vegetables, is what you're saying.
I love vegetables.
There you go.
And my favorite is asparagus.
Oh, yeah.
Broccoli. A lot of greens.
That's
my favorite.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So tell us about Jackson Springs Water and your location and what do you do?
Sure. Jackson Springs is a natural premium spring water company. We first established in 2004. It's a family-owned and operated business. We're located on Keewatin Street. Actual physical address is 885 Keewatin, just up from the Sobeys, the A&W, which is at Burroughs. Our niche market is natural spring drinking water sold in a 3 and 5 gallon size. We cater to not only to businesses, but mostly to homes. 90% of what we do is by home delivery, and the reason why people are attracted to us is because we are a natural premium spring water. We're not filtered city tap water.
Now, I had the pleasure of visiting your facility a little while back, and it's quite amazing to see what goes on there. But you bring the water from, it's as you said, it's not City of Winnipeg water. It's brought up from what area?
Middleborough, Manitoba, which is in the southeast corner of the province, 2.5 hours away from Winnipeg, near Buffalo Point. What's unique about that area, it is the second highest elevation in the province, so it's not subject to overland flooding. Second feature is we're within our 40 acres that we own is within a provincial forest, and we're surrounded by 3 of the largest provincial forests in this province. So it's high, it's isolated, there's nothing to affect the ground table. And we tanker back 36,000 liters at a time, 3 to 4 times per week. So what's unique about that is it is spring water. It never had chemicals or additives, and the water's always fresh.
So I looked it up on a map preparing for today's interview, and it's like in the very corner, southeast corner, near the Ontario border and Minnesota border, isn't it?
That is correct.
I mean, you can't go any further than Manitoba than that.
You cannot, and you can't be more isolated in that area either.
So that's what your selling feature would be to people, I guess, versus City of Winnipeg water that's been treated or any other feature.
What's happening that is correct. What's happening today through the internet, people are more educated than ever before in regards to healthy choices. What's a good choice, maybe what's a bad choice, what the experts recommend. Our selling niche of our product is that we're natural spring water. It's never had chemicals or additives, whereas with other companies, they start off with city tap water, and either by reverse osmosis or steam distillation, they remove the chemicals and the additives. So the question is, would you want to have something that had things in it that were successfully removed, or a water choice that never had any bad things in it to begin with? Furthermore, processed water completely strips the water of all the naturally occurring minerals. The World Health Organization states that the healthiest water for human consumption is a water with a moderate mineral profile. Our water does have a moderate mineral profile. It's almost a mineral water, but what's unique about it, it's sodium-free, it's fluoride-free, and has an alkaline pH of 8.1, which is a big rising topic of these days, not to mention that it's fluoride-free as well.
8.1.
Which is huge on the pH scale. And pH actually, when we first started 12 years ago, I had one question, what the pH is. Today, the 2 biggest questions are exactly that. What's the pH of the water? And does your water have fluoride in it? The answer is it's very alkaline. In fact, what is very unique and what I've learned is that people are observing alkaline diets, especially those who have heartburn or acid reflux. And what we have found, without making a big health guarantee or anything like that, is that people who have had heartburn or acid reflux for years have noticed a significant improvement or elimination of heartburn and acid reflux when they change their diet to more fruits and vegetables, as well as they consume an alkaline water with a high alkaline pH.
Wow. So over the 12 years your business has been around, have you seen it grow or?
Last year, we did $1.2 million in sales.
Wow.
Family owned and operated. I'm very proud of the fact that we built it from scratch. Last year, we grew by 15%. This year will be likely the same. So what gives me a lot of pride as a business person, we all have to do something for a living, but what gives me the greatest amount of pride is when people say, you know, they love your water, they tell everybody about it, and it's almost a textbook answer that we get, but we always ask the question because it makes us feel great.
Now, you haven't mentioned it. It would be the first thing that I would have said, but you've won an award for the best tasting water in the world.
A number of times.
A number of times.
Yes.
Like, that's pretty significant.
Especially being a product of Manitoba, that's what gives us a lot of pride. It puts Manitoba on the map. Last year, we came in fourth. 2012, we came in first. 2013, we came in fourth. 2014, we came in second. So we've been consistently in the top. But what's unique about water, and although we're competing in the natural water category, is that we're going against a lot of companies from all over the world, and it's kind of like a marketing rights or bragging rights, so to speak, which really aids or helps your business. It's drawn attention to us. We get a lot of inquiries from around the world. And again, to be in, sometimes people say, well, you just got fourth. Well, to me, that's still great, especially last year when we competed against 45 different companies, Greece, Bulgaria, Australia, you name it.
We'll be right back with Chris Garrick from Jackson Springs Water after we take this break for your weather update. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Larry McIntosh. I hope you've had an opportunity to see our bright and colorful potato and onion bags at your store. Peek in the Market's new Sesame Street potato and onion bags feature Elmo, Bert, Grover, Oscar, Abby Cadabby, Rosetta, Cookie Monster, Big Bird, and Ernie. 9 different Sesame Street characters in all. Along with the characters, you'll still see the Peek in the Market logo, so you're guaranteed it is grown right here in Manitoba. We're very pleased to partner with Sesame Street on the Eat Brighter program. The Sesame Street Eat Brighter program is all about encouraging children and adults to eat more fruits and vegetables. If you haven't seen your favorite Sesame Street character on a potato or onion bag at your local store, please ask the produce manager, where are they hiding? We're back with Chris Garrick from Jackson Springs Water, the best tasting water in the world. I mean, we were talking about that before the break. That is an incredible thing to be able to say. I'd like to be able to say the best tasting vegetables in the world. And I kind of believe that, but I don't think there's a contest that would actually, say that.
One day maybe there will be one.
So we're talking about all over the world. How many places would send in entries, you were saying earlier?
Well, there's well over 100. In the natural category, there was over 45. So as we discussed earlier, to come in fourth, I'm very happy with that.
And there's absolutely, to be in the top 5 or whatever it is an incredible feat, and from a company right here in Manitoba.
Correct. What someone has to remember too is that all waters are different. Like European waters will have a different flavor or texture because they have a higher sodium content. Ours is sodium free. So somebody who is used to drinking something with sodium and has something without sodium, it's going to taste different.
So recently in Winnipeg, we had the boil water advisory, and we've had it in other parts of the province other times. Does that has to help your business, I'm assuming?
It has helped our business with new clients, although when that happened, it was overwhelming, and what we had to do is we had to make a choice. And what our choice is we had to take care of our existing clientele first, the people who have backed us for. Some customers are new. Some customers have been with us for 12 years. That was, I think, the most responsible thing that we did. It was amazing when I walked in on Wednesday morning after it kind of all transpired on the Tuesday or started to transpire on the Tuesday. I walked into 600 new messages at 4:30 in the morning. We ran production for 3 days straight, 24 hours a day. really kind of showed what our staff was about because many of us worked 3 days straight for 3 days,
Wow.
24 hours a day, just to keep up with the volume.
And, you know, I respect the city of Winnipeg for being cautious on it. I mean,
Correct. That
you know,
was the right move.
You think at the time, well, maybe that's a little more than they need to do, but it's the right move to do, and we want to be safe.
Correct.
And the testing is very important, and certainly it helped bottled water sales and your sales, but it was overwhelming, I assume, for everybody.
It was overwhelming, but I think what it also did is it made people aware of sometimes the things in life that are kind of maybe taken for granted, whether it's the water coming out of your tap, or water from a fellow competitor, or a water from us. Like, sometimes people just take water for granted. In fact, only 1% of the world's water supply is drinkable directly from the source. Every other type of water has to be cleaned up, and a majority of the waters that are sold are municipal waters that have been processed by either, as we mentioned before, either steam distillation or reverse osmosis.
And there's no question in Canada we're fortunate that we can drink the water out of the tap. I mean, we're very fortunate. Shelley and I have been fortunate enough to visit, you know, some other countries in the world where they can't necessarily do that, or they don't have access to fresh water. So we don't want to ever take that for granted. We don't want to waste water.
Nope.
But in your business, having, you know, fresh natural water has got to be a huge benefit for you to be in right now.
That's our niche,
Yeah.
and it always has been, and it has really kind of taken off over time. And I owe a lot of the credit actually to our customers who have been loyal, and actually, you know, when you go into one of our customers' homes and you try the water, people commonly will say, geez, this water is really different, and different in a good way, and it really stimulates a lot of business. So as a result, we like to educate all of our customers what our water is all about, so when that does occur, people can generally, you know, from the heart, promote what they feel is best for anyone for a healthy diet.
And when you got into the business 12 years ago,
Correct.
there was lots of other water companies out there, lots of competition out there, some of which have not around anymore.
Yeah.
Did that worry you?
Doesn't concern me. It didn't concern me then. Doesn't concern me now. Put me in a room with every competitor here in the city, and I challenge anybody to do that. I know I'll come out on top each and every time.
And your niche is homes. Is that what?
Homes and businesses. Some of our biggest accounts, like we have the Fort Garry Hotel, one of our largest commercial accounts here in the city, and they want for their guests the best that they can get. That's why they choose us.
So you're still looking for more customers? Or are you done?
Always, no. You can never. I really get a big thrill in doing a presentation, telling people all about our water. Everything we talk about is all backed up by credible health experts like the World Health Organization. On the internet today, of course, whatever the subject might be, everybody has an opinion. But I think a lot of people are looking for the truth. They're looking for what the credible experts have to say. What is the best choice?
In the next half hour, we're gonna come back and do a recipe. But in the next half hour, I want to talk to you about cleaning of coolers. I mean, sanitation of coolers. I look at work and we have a cooler, and lots of people use it, and they have colds and they have everything else. So I want to talk about that in the next half hour. But
Love to.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Chris Garrett from Jackson Springs Water after we take this break and come back for the recipe of the day. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Food and Friends. I'm Larry McIntosh, and it's time for a recipe segment called Now We're Cooking. You don't need to write this recipe down, as is today's recipe of the day at peakmarket.com and in today's Winnipeg Free Press. So you can get all the information at peakmarket.com or today's Winnipeg Free Press. Today's recipe is ham motto. Ham motto. Okay. This recipe isn't too long, and it seems pretty easy to me, but I'll let you be the judge. Ham steak cut into strips. Clamato juice, there's the ham motto, I guess. Medium carrots diced for best results. Use Manitoba grown carrots, which are still available. Medium onions diced, and carrots chopped is what I meant to say there. Green peppers cut into strips. Clove of garlic, lemon juice, Worcestershire sauce, and hot pepper sauce. And this recipe serves two, and it can be made in one pot, which is my kind of recipe. Sounds simple. If you're interested in viewing the full recipe, it is today's recipe today at peakmarket.com and in the Winnipeg Free Press. You can also have recipes at your fingertips with Peak of the Market's free recipe app. which has over 4,000 recipes and is available for your smartphone or iPad. And there's many great features on the Peak Recipes app, including search options like potatoes or chicken or water, I'm sure. You can rate recipes and add them to your favorites list, add the ingredients to a shopping list, and add notes to the recipes like Larry's favorite or add more vegetables next time. Peak Recipes app is available free at all the App Store. We'll be right back with Chris from Jackson Springs Water after we take this break for your news, sports, and weather. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Larry McIntosh. Peak of the Market is on Twitter. Follow us at Peak of the Market for recipes and Food and Friends guest updates. We have over 165,000 Twitter followers, and we'd love to have you follow us too. Again, we're at Peak of the Market, or you can follow me at Larry McIntosh. We're back with Chris from Jackson Spring Water. Chris, on next Saturday's Food and Friends, we're having a contest.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Sorry, you're not going to be here for it, but we're having a contest. So this is the contest. I'm doing a bit of a pre-announcement here. It's dinner for two in a Winnipeg restaurant with Larry and Shelley.
Wow.
So
Great
Shelley and I, Shelley and I will take you out, you and a lucky listener and a guest, out for a lovely dinner to a Winnipeg restaurant. We might talk a little bit of veggies, so you have to bear in mind, but it's going to be dinner with Larry and Shelley. So tune in next Saturday for details on how to enter your name into the draw. Now, there are some conditions on this. Firstly, you need to be listening next Saturday to know how to enter. And secondly, you'll have to go out to dinner with Larry and Shelley. So if you don't want to go out to dinner with us, don't enter because we're coming. It's going to be a fun evening. We were talking before the last half hour about water coolers and cleaning them. And one of my pet peeves at our office is you see people that have a cold or just got off the flu and they're filling up their cups, drinking water, which we want them to do. But, they're touching the spout or whatever. What do you do about that?
Well, boils down to education. People need to be aware, whether it be in a home or a business, that a water cooler should be sterilized a minimum of 3 times per year. And it must be done so with a food-grade sterilant. If you read a lot of different manuals on water coolers today, they just tell you to dump bleach through it. Well, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, it's probably about one of the worst things you could ever do. You need to use a food-grade sterilant, either a hydrogen peroxide-based product or a food-grade citric acid, which we use. And it's very important to do so. If you don't sterilize a water cooler, you will certainly get a buildup of bacteria inside the taps. You will get a bacteria sometimes of mold inside the taps. You can sometimes get mold or bacteria forming in the non-spill, which is the part that the jug sits on top of, and certainly inside of the bowl where the water comes from. If someone maintains a water cooler on a regular basis, you won't have an issue. In businesses, which we spoke of earlier, businesses should be done a little bit more often. They should probably maybe be done like about 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 times a year, depending on the usage. And it's a very simple process. And we actually have a video on the homepage of our website, down at the bottom, a YouTube video that shows people how to sterilize. What is also important to note is that to sterilize a water cooler properly, you need to have a water cooler that has removable taps. If you have a water cooler with fixed taps, there's no way to properly sterilize from where the water comes out to where it connects to the inner bowl. You ideally should have as well a stainless steel bowl that chills the water versus recycled plastic or tin. Can you imagine if you dump bleach into a plastic bowl? The water's always going to taste that way. So by using the appropriate sterilant, by using a non-porous stainless steel bowl, not tin either, you can have a water cooler clean and sterile. The other thing that is important to note is that not only if you do not sterilize the water cooler, that is the problem, but the bacteria grows tenfold if the water cooler is in a bright area. Think about when you're a kid, if you had an aquarium, if you put it in front of a window, it went brown and green. That's exactly what's going to happen inside your water cooler.
Good point.
So ideally select a water cooler with a cover to protect the water from the light. Buy from a provider that's not letting the water blaze in a window, and have one with removable taps and use the appropriate solution. Very important.
So this is on your website. What's your website?
JacksonSpringsWater.com.
Okay, JacksonSpringWater.com. So you can watch the video. So is this something you can do yourself?
Very simple to do it yourself. After you've done it once, it's a cakewalk. It's simple. But again, if you buy a good water cooler through us or through another water dealer, that would be highly recommended over buying a store-bought unit. If you read the reviews, which is great with the use of the computer or the internet these days, you'll find that some are better than others, like with all products.
So is this? Do you sell this at the store where you
Yes,
would
we
clean
do.
it with? Okay.
Yeah, it's not expensive. It's only $24 for the kit. It includes everything that a person needs, and that'll probably last the person 3 to 4 years.
Oh, really?
So it's not expensive. If you took it to a store for someone to do it for you, they'd probably cost you $30 to $40 for someone to do it. That way, you have to take the cooler out of your establishment, take it there, leave it there for a day or two, or do it in your house, do it yourself in your own home, at the convenience of your own home in 15 minutes.
And when you're in the vegetable business, as I am, we think about food safety all the time. Food safety all the time. We use ice to put on top of items like broccoli or green onions. We test that ice on a regular basis. It comes from city water, but we test it anyway. We test the taps in the bathrooms to ensure everything's, when people are washing their hands, it's all safe. And then there's the water cooler up front, which obviously is fine, but I don't think to clean that the same way. It's interesting.
A lot of people don't until it's actually pointed out. And it's much like, for an example, with the jug that goes on the water cooler. You could have a very clean and sterile water cooler, but if you're dealing with a provider that doesn't sterilize their jugs, you're kind of wasting your time. So what we do at Jackson Springs, all the jugs are triple inspected. All the jugs are properly sterilized using appropriate solutions. Food-grade hydrogen peroxide, for an example, and we use an alkaline organic detergent to wash the jugs in a warm temperature with 139 jets.
You have to think about Jackson Springs water and Peak of the Market. We're in good business here, right?
We are.
Eat vegetables, drink lots of water. That's what people say.
Correct.
Health experts say that. Everything you read is eat more fruits and vegetables, drink more water. Isn't that the...
Well, your body represents, there's different stats on it, but around 70% water. And, you could eat all the right vegetables and have all the right nutrients inside your body, but if you're not drinking enough water to properly move things throughout your body, eliminate waste, weight loss, cancer prevention, the list goes on.
And you're right. With the internet, people can do research on these things, find out so much more. But it really comes back to a lot of more studies are coming out, but it comes back to, drinking lots of water, fruits and vegetables, other products you should eat as well, but in moderation, depending on what it is. Our mom and dads told us that too, and it's more and more proven today again.
Sure. Eat clean as you possibly can. And I think that everyone is looking, especially as the population ages, people are looking to make the healthiest choices, not only for themselves, but also for their children.
We'll be right back with Chris from Jackson Springs Water, the best tasting water in the world, after we take this break. Welcome back. I'm Larry McIntosh. Food and Friends Radio is on TV. Each radio show is filmed and will be posted on MyToba.ca later today. So if you want to see the TV version of this or previous radio shows, please visit MyToba.ca. Thanks to 680 CJOB's Nicole, who produces our show, and Riley, who operates the camera, as well as the teachers of the Broadcasting and Media Arts program at the Tech Voc High School. You can also listen to an audio podcast of Food and Friends at SoundCloud.com and at the iTunes Store. So please just do a search for Food and Friends with Larry at MyToba.ca or SoundCloud.com or at the iTunes Store, and all the shows will come up for your listening or viewing pleasure. Now, it's very important for me to mention that Food and Friends is only available because of 680 CJOB and its advertisers, so please tune in here every Saturday morning at 8 or listen live at CJOB.com. We're back with Chris from Jackson Springs Water. Before the break, I was saying the best tasting water in the world. Just tell us a little bit about that again. You won this contest?
Well, it's a competition. It's an international competition that's held down in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. And bottom line is that this year was their 25th anniversary of running the competition. It has acquired a lot of international attention over the years, and everyone enters into it. I shouldn't say everyone, but everyone that feels that they have a significant product with potential will enter it into that competition in hopes of marketing bragging rights.
And it's got to be, it's marketing bragging rights, but it's got to make you proud too.
Sure it does.
You sell that product every day.
Product of Manitoba, and again, the part that makes us the proudest is the fact that we're consistently in the top half dozen in the world.
Absolutely.
So it's not just a one-hit wonder. It's always there for a reason. And as I'd mentioned to you earlier, a lot of waters are different. Some waters will have a different taste. Some will have a different feel. Some waters might feel that they burn them when they go down because they're on the acidic side. Some waters are smoother when they go down because they're more on the alkaline side, which is our water. They take a look at how clear the water is, if it has an aroma to it. Many different components that decide how you place.
So your store location again?
We're located at 885 Keewatin Street. That's on Keewatin, just north of Burroughs, where the Sobeys, the A&W, and the Shoppers Drug Mart is. We're on the east side of the road. You certainly can't miss all the signage. We're open this Saturday if anybody wanted to pop in from 9 o'clock right through till 5 o'clock.
Are you going to be there?
I will be there.
You'll be there?
Happy to meet anyone that comes in and tell them our story.
So come in and they ask for you, and they can say, I heard you on Food and Friends.
And that is correct, and you will not be disappointed. I'll make the trip worthwhile.
So when the water comes from, what area it was?
Middleborough, Manitoba, down by Buffalo Point in the southeast corner of the province.
So you haul it yourself there?
We have our own tanker.
Is that right?
36,000-liter tanker. That tanker actually makes 4 trips per week, and that is growing all the time. The great thing about regular shipments of water, the water's always fresh. It's lab tested anyway, and it's good for 2 years if properly stored, but people love the component that it is fresh all the time. The great thing about us owning the tanker is we know what's in it and what has gone into it.
Right.
Our water only. We control the sterilization, much like with your business as well, so that we make sure that we're more proactive than reactive.
So you're basically taking it from the ground right to the consumer, if you want to call it that. It's probably not the right terminology, but you're handling that whole process.
That is correct. Yeah. And so the 40 acres that we own is basically on the site. We have a secure site. We have a house there as well where we have basically an individual that lives there to protect the property and keep an eye out for things, because it's in the middle of nowhere, and we want to make sure that everything is taken care of and protected.
As a business owner, what do you see as your biggest challenges in the coming years?
Challenges. Wow. I really don't see any obstacles, actually. It's a matter of having great staff, which we do. It's a matter of everyone sharing the same vision, which we do. The people that are my key people within the business are stakeholders as well.
Okay.
So they have a vested interest to make sure that all of their areas of their business are properly cared for and taken care of.
So asking the other side of the question, what do you see as the biggest opportunity? But
the biggest opportunity is for growth, and I feel that if people were to taste our water, that's all they need to do. And if they do their research on the internet, we have lots of credible articles from the World Health Organization and what we deem to be credible health experts giving their opinion. If a person does their research, they'll choose our water each and every time. The taste is important. I mean, you have some products out there that don't taste so good, but they're healthy for you maybe, like certain cough medicines. But with our water, it not only tastes good, but it's good for you too, and that's what the experts say.
And you have to be careful, and I know you are, and we are in the same business. You know, we can't make health claims about carrots, right? But we can leave that to the World Health Organization or the Mayo Clinic or something. But we can certainly point people to the internet, and they can do their own research.
That is correct, and all those articles are on our website.
Do you partner with anybody in town? I think you were talking off air. You do some work with a fitness person, or am I correct on that? Or?
We actually deal with a lot of different fitness experts in the city who recommend people to us. Most naturopaths in the city recommend people to us. Not that they get paid or they get a referral fee. They're doing it because it's the right thing to do. We have branched out, and we have now a distributor in Brandon. We have a distributor in Selkirk. We have a distributor in Pilot Mound, Winkler, and Morden as well.
Shelley and I go to Nutritional Sciences on Portage Avenue.
Excellent shop.
And Wanda has you up front and center with brochures there and recommends it every time we're in there. But she takes our little blood tests and say what vitamins we should be taking. And I'm oversimplifying what she does, but she keeps us healthy. Yeah. And she's recommending that people go see you. Yeah,
I love that story as well. Like, I mean, it's because as you'd mentioned with the body, everybody's requirement is different. And by doing a live blood analysis, that certainly is beneficial.
We'll be right back with Chris from Jackson Springs Water after we take this break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Food and Friends. I just want to remind you to turn your clock ahead by 1 hour tomorrow. It's the nice time of year when we spring ahead, enjoy a little more sunshine each day, which I like that little more sunshine. My guest next Saturday on March 14th at 8 a.m. is Iris Kroll from Third Quarter. Third Quarter is a nonprofit organization that specializes in recruitment services for people aged 45 and over. The Third Quarter, that's kind of you're in the third quarter of life. That's kind of a cute name. Don't forget, next Saturday's show, we're having a contest. It'll be dinner for two in a Winnipeg restaurant with Larry and Shelley. And Shelley and I would love to take a lucky listener and their guest out for a lovely dinner. Tune in next Saturday for the details on how to enter your name into the draw. My guest today has been Chris from Jackson Spring Water. Chris, it's been a lot of fun talking about water. Water and vegetables, I'm telling you, it goes together.
Well, you can make smoothies. Yeah.
So if someone wants to come see you today, you're at the location, which is?
Yeah, the location is unit number 1, 885 Keewatin Street, just north of Burroughs, where the Sobeys Shoppers Drug Mart and A&W is located. We're on the east side of the road. You can't miss all the signage. We've got quite a bit of it there. And Saturday, today, we'll be here from 9 o'clock right through till 5 o'clock.
So, and also you said you have some people that sell outside for our rural customers. You sold at Brandon?
Yeah, we have a distributor in Selkirk, Brandon, into Pilot Mound, Winkler, and Morden. We're growing into those areas as well.
Perfect. So look for Jackson Springs Water when you're out there. Thanks, Chris, for being on Food and Friends.
I appreciate you having me here.
Take care, everybody, and please don't forget to eat your veggies.